Give me a second to get this reset up because it just crashed. Like it's my PlayStation thought it was still going, but my PlayStation was the only thing that thought it was still going. So that was so odd. Okay, turn that off. Although, does this? No. Okay. All right, let me get everything set back up. I'm sorry about that. My internet speed, like I did a speed test and my internet is fine, so I don't know what just happened. Glitch in the matrix of life. A glitch in the matrix of life. What can you do? Technology is weird. I gotta repost the link for places to know what happened in case anyone's like, what happened? So give me 2 seconds to do that on all the places that it needs to happen. So yeah, my in my D&D game, I serve as the sentient AI god that's protecting us from in my D&D evil space entity. Sorry about the feedback there for a second. The evil space entity that's all tentacly, that has stuff to do with the signal reactivating stuff and things, right? So like one day we went to speak with like an avatar of that entity, and it looked just like one of our party members whose hair just turned red. So my character I can't talk about because I'm trying to not super duper spoil Horizon Forbidden West yet on this one. Sorry, I'm just putting the link back up. You're welcome. All right. Sorry. Almost. So my most popular comment I've ever left on anything on the internet is on a Horizon video, Horizon Forbidden West plot video. It has 300 replies, and I'm only getting more as time goes on. This video has 500,000 views. It's someone else's video. And it's just a lore video that a bunch of people were arguing a character's relationship in it. And I was like, well, but if you look at XYZ plot point with other things Aloy says, then, like, an alternative read would be blah, 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 blah. Opinion, but hey, that's just my thoughts on, and here's why I would say that I've come to this conclusion, and I think it seems closer to canon to say this because of XYZ seeming to, like, refute this other read. But, you know, at the end of the day, ship who you want. I don't care. And people leave the same 3 comments.
I'm glad there are good people like you in the world.
And it's just, humans are very interesting to me.
My brother. My father was always generous in his gratitude. A family tradition I would like to continue. Take this. I hope it will help you in your travels. I know my father would want me to
forgot to post the link somewhere.
But I just don't think it's safe. I know my father would want me to rebuild, but I just don't think it's safe.
I know my father would want me to rebuild, but I just don't think it's safe. So anyway, like, someone literally just commented on it saying, I ain't reading all that. I'm like, okay, you could have just scrolled. Someone else is arguing with, I made a point about Aloy viewing herself as a thing made rather than born and as a tool, and why she's shut down in her emotions after she learns that. And someone's like, but that doesn't make you any less of a person. I'm like, tell that to her. That's the lesson she's trying to learn. Like, I'm just trying to, like, say what I see when I play the game as being what she's going through. It's so funny, but the funniest ones have been people that I've started to, just to, like, show them how absurd what they're doing. I don't actually care, but it's funny to me. So now when they do that, I'll say, oh, that's really interesting. I left a Horizon Forbidden West comment on a Horizon Forbidden West post, but you're writing fan fiction about me. I'm so glad to find out you're a fan. But it's a little weird. Could you maybe stick to not writing about my, like, love life? Because I'm a real person, and that's, like, really weird when we're talking about a video game. I'm honored, I'm flattered, but, like, keep that to AO3. Because this is about Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm just a person. Like, what the heck, people?
You're a long way from home, too. Watch your back out there. You're a long way from home, too. Watch your back out there.
That sounds like part of a Muse song. This music. Like, there's actually a specific Muse song that has that little turn in it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone? It's on the second law, if I recall correctly. Which is appropriate for the themes of this game. I don't know why I came up here. I don't need to farm anything. I'm just trying to kill time until Genesis gets here after he eats his pizza that he just got. He just said he needed to eat, and then I wanted to do the mountain that fell. But it's nice to just walk around. It's so pretty, and this music is so lovely. Honestly, I've thought about maybe doing a series of, like, acrylic paintings. Like, I've got all this stuff to make, like, real art, physical media art, that I'm, like, never using. So I'm like, I need to find stuff to use it for. And I was like, what if I do Horizon landscapes? Make, like, little mini paintings of Horizon landscapes. It'd be kind of fun. Fun little project, and, like, make some happy little trees. Like, look at this. Imagine. Nice little... Nice little painting. Like that. Be a nice little, like, you could, like, put, like, a little machines in them and stuff like that. Like, just off in the distance. Just, like, little scenes from a future world. Man, I forgot how different the freaking camera is in this game. There's some things I like about it, but some things I'm like really glad we don't do anymore. I like how you get kind of the center focal point and then you rotate around it, but I also hate that about it. I wish there was like an A mode and a B mode where you could do both, because this has its advantages, but so does the other way. This is fun in its own way, though. Okay, I'm gonna make myself sick, though. Oh, this music.
The sun king's grown too soft.
Yeah, well, and it's just like part of the thing about painting a landscape is already done for you in that they've already flattened the image. But it's just like you could quickly compose like boom right here, and then just like perfect. There we go. In fact, I'm going to screenshot this. Like, there we go. There's one. There's a perfect one right there. Boom. I need more, like, variety in what I make. So, it's a nice way to actually use all these. I bought a massive set of acrylic paints, like the good quality ones, and I never touch them. So it's like I should touch them ever. You'd always do digital paint mock-ups and that to get a feel for what how you want to do it, and then take that offline to do the actual things. So you like get one of each. I don't know what I'm doing up here. I should kill goats and badgers. I need their skins for something. Thank you for volunteering.
Welcome.
Oh, that's the most painful skill to have not grabbed, is the...
Seems paintings mean a lot to the Banuk.
Sakuli!
It's a pleasure to see you.
The tall neck at the Frost figures deserves more respect than to be gawked at by idiots.
It's totally him.
If we must face stronger machines, we'll have to become better hunters.
It would be unwise to underestimate Orville. He's not a normal bandit.
These are Banuk matters, Outlander. They don't concern you.
That's totally him.
How long has the frozen tall neck been isolated from the blue light? You have come too far north. Go. Head. These New machines, another horror visited upon us by the daemon.
Weariness, hunger, aches and bruises. Reminders that you're still alive.
It's too easy to lean on the others in your way. You can't let yourself get complacent. After all the Mad Sun King put us through, we're meant to trust the Karja now? These things that killed our hunters, how many of them have already poured into the cut? Sakuli scrubbed the entire rock face clean, and why? Just so she could cover it in paint again? Sure, the Asuram act tough, but send them to the cut, and most of them don't last a week.
I've never seen a machine as large as that Tolmec frozen like that. And I've been in some cold places.
God, one day, that's all I ask. One day of not worrying about what's happening at Thunder's Drum. I've taken down many machines, but these ones with the purple markings, I wasn't prepared. And if we did, we would not seek it from now.
That's why I was thinking about it, because I was watching you the other day. When you finished the quest, you were like, this is totally him. And I was like, you're right. I don't know how I'm going to do against these freaking fire claws.
Some days it seems like the blue light has no hold on the world. Bandits grow like mushrooms in the dark when your attention is elsewhere.
Oh, wrong button.
Up all of it.
I like this design.
Sakuli enjoys Uriah's confidence. That's a rare gift to receive.
Aww, I love their friendship. They're so
Some record their
precious.
stories in song.
Weirdos and weirdos.
Colors. Where did she find them?
Well, funny you should ask.
Bandits have made camp at Stonewood. Should make things interesting. Good to see a hardy Nora in the cut. But the nuke can only benefit from your presence. Bandits are cowards. They don't possess the skill to face an opponent directly. Mustn't let a few bandits rule your life. Go where you want. Do what you want.
The smoke that pours from Thunder's Drum. Sometimes I see horrible shapes in the cloud.
Yesterday, some of us sat beneath Sakuli's scaffold and tried to guess what she was painting. This Asuram thinks himself so fierce. Please. I'm not afraid of bandits.
The Nora mind their own business and tend to their own lands. The way it should be.
Saw some unpleasant characters loafing around near Stonewood. Be careful. If you wish to test your endurance, you've chosen the right land to do it.
Oh, we know all about testing our endurance now. What's up, Grumpy? How you doing, Grumpy? I met your friend, Grumpy. Dude, I like your headdress, Grumpy. Why are you so grumpy, Grumpy? Look at the frost on this freaking weapon.
Whatever's happening at Thunder's Drum, it's not enough to bring down the Banuk.
Remember when video game characters didn't have individual fingers? Okay, bye, Grumpy.
The bandit camp at Stonewood
Um,
seems to be overnight.
I don't know what to do. What should I do right now? I could go look for Montana Recreations figures.
It's good to see a fresh face in these lands. We see
And
precious
pigments. That's what I'll do. I don't know which ones I've grabbed. Ooh, it's getting cold outside. My window is open. The desert is interesting because the air, like at night, there's no nothing to hold the warmth in, so it just gets very cold. Even though it's 70 at night, it gets down into the 40s. I mean, 70 during the day, it gets down to the 40s at night.
Frozen in the wilds like that tall neck.
I can feel the ground softening up.
Keep your spear sharp.
It's so interesting how this stuff forms. I think I already grabbed the one that's over here, because it was like down there, and so I already got it. So that explains how they're able to dye their stuff so pretty.
The hunters think they're so tough. They've never spent all day scrubbing.
Okay, it's over my long notch. Like, whatever, it's not that far, I'll just walk. What happened here?
Such a terrible way to die.
Attacked in your sleep?
I can't spare the weight.
I like that they made wind chimes out of strider bits. I thought I might have already got the one over here, but maybe I didn't. Played it so many times I've lost track of like what was what playthrough. I wasn't ready for that noise to suddenly come on so loud after being so non-existent. I like that we got a little dive off the rock. That was nice. Let's give Aloy some frostbite. Okay. And this one, like, is this one just the shell walkers, or does this one have stalkers? Or I'm thinking of the stalkers that are up closer to Long Notch. That's what I think I'm thinking of. I miss Forbidden West. Like an old friend. I can't believe it's been out for almost a year. Nothing to see here, crab. Okay, we made it. Somewhere I don't need to be. Neat. Okay. So, course correction. don't know why I'm talking like that. I just feel like I should narrate what I'm thinking so that it makes sense to people. As Leo Szilard would want.
Scrabbling a bit.
Since I like to talk about him, I don't know, I think he's... I like how he thinks, basically. And he's basically got a life principle of think your thoughts out loud so nothing gets lost in translation. That's my rewording of something that was said in another language that was actually different words anyway. But long leg, is that a scorcher? Yeah. I'd rather not. What's up here? Tramplers. Why did I forget that there were tramplers out here? I don't know, but I did forget. I don't really want to deal with them. It makes sense that Yosemite would have something trampler-like. I'm so curious what machines we're gonna get in the Burning Shores. Like, what's something Los Angeles-like? I want extensive amounts of Gildan, or I riot. Gildan, my friend. Paleo. Shh, I'm afraid because I know there's scary things here, and I'm afraid of getting killed by them, so I'm gonna be sneaky instead of bold, because I'm afraid of the scary things. Don't make fun of me. The things are scary. You would be scared too. No! I need your skin, buddy! That's not skin.
Meat.
I like the claws on the toes of this. Like, imagine getting kicked in the throat with these boots. These ice climber boots. Imagine how cold Aloy's toes must be right now. No. Okay, good. You're fighting someone else. I don't care. Give me your skin, please. Oh. Fine. Gosh. You're welcome.
Our songs grow louder, even as yours fades.
Okay, what area am I thinking of? Maybe it's a little further out. Hey, what's up, Genesis? The pizza was a success then? Glad to hear that. There's stalkers over here. I don't want to deal with them. See, I told you. There they are. Stalking away. Creepers. We remember Banukai.
Don't forget, the man Sun King's cruelty survives him. Even if we can trust Misty, Sunfall still stands.
Before every hunt I accept, that could be my last. During every hunt I fight to make sure it isn't. Bandits cower at stone yield because they are too...
Not yet, Barja, but soon. Don't worry.
None of the southern tribes rival.
Cool. Well, with Genesis here, now I can do the mountain that
I'll
fell.
give this to the Osram. Whatever they do...
Do you want to come on voice chat? So I have someone to talk to?
You're still breathing. Good.
You don't have to. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, the little... It's a knocker. It's a sneeze noise. Congrats, Klaus!
We should not pile his father's guilt onto the new Carja King's shoulders.
No, Avad's got enough of his own guilt to be piled on his shoulders. I hate Avad. You guys, in case you're wondering, I hate Avad. If anyone was curious about my opinions on Avad, I hate him. I hate Avad. The end. Well, there's been some confusion over my opinions on Avad. Understandable, because I keep very tight-lipped about it. But just let me be absolutely clear that I hate Avad.
Oh, same. I hate Avad.
He's a trash human. I don't say that about a lot of people. Or easily, except for in Avad's case. I'm doing alright. I've had a little fatigue, a little soreness in my lymph nodes. I think I was exposed, but I don't think I've caught COVID. Because I literally saw my roommate the morning she tested positive in the house. Wow. And so it's possible that she's given it to me. And I won't know for a few more days because I don't know when she actually got it, when she became contagious or anything. So just in case you're wondering, this is King's Peak. It's a real place in the real world.
It's very pretty.
And I found it on Google Earth. And I found the exact angle for where the vantage that we're going to find up here is. I'll grab the vantage, but I'm not going to read through them yet until we get all of them. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow's stream. Who got in a fight with a Ravager over here? Who's going around kicking off Ravagers? Oh, bandits. Well, good luck, buddies. Thanks for distracting it. What a living world. Here's one for my, my landscapes. Nah. But that's funny to me. Ow! Don't mind me making poor choices. Ravager's attention hasn't turned to me, right? That's the only thing I really care about. Sweet. Could have used some of that bajillion meats I got. Ah, yeah.
Meat
That's why I
so
got
delicious.
them. What kind of pizza did you get?
So it was called the chicken parm pizza.
What?
And, yeah, that's what I said. And it had a literal 2 breasts of chicken parm with
What?
bacon and some type of diced tomatoes. And it was so good. I'm still not fully awake.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking like what I need to once I haven't gone to the store yet.
Okay.
To get, because I'm worried about with COVID and stuff, if I've been exposed, I don't want to be going out. So that's set me back a few days on like my cooking journey. But I've decided I'm going to learn to cook.
Okay.
As we were talking about a little bit. And so
first
I'm trying to figure out like, yeah, because I've never really, when I've had the money, I haven't had the time. And when I've had the time, I haven't had the money. But right now I have a little bit of money and time I can budget towards food. And so I'm like, well, what am I going to learn to cook? Because I want to learn to make good food while I've got the time, because then I can get faster at it for when I don't have time again in the future. But I can be a person that cooks. Because the thing is like learning it is a time-intensive thing, because everything takes 10 times as long when you don't know any cooking words, which I don't. I'm bad at knowing cooking words. It's just life, man. I never learned how. So I know I want Brussels sprouts. I might do, there's a recipe for Brussels sprouts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my mom loves Brussels sprouts.
And maybe, I don't know if I want to make chicken or what I want to make with the Brussels sprouts.
So she usually does chicken. She really likes pork. She really likes pork chops.
I don't know any recipes, but I don't know. I want to try and keep it lighter meats.
Okay.
Because I got my gallbladder out, so fats are like...
chicken and fish I think would be the best way to go.
I hate fish.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's just most fish taste like fish. Right?
I mean,
it's true though. Yeah, it's true though. So
yeah, that's
literally the gist of it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, the smell of fish is indistinguishable.
Alright, here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go with classic me tactics, which involve tactical meing. And we're just gonna make it real hard for them to do shit to me. Can't hurt me if you can't get close to me, buddies. I'm gonna make sure that you can't. Watch me. I'm glad that wildlife can't get into your traps in this game, because that was a bummer in Forbidden West. I had a boar run into me once when I was in San Francisco, and it pushed me into my blast wire, and then it died. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with these? Why are half of them not sticking? This is gonna be a great stalker fight. We're gonna do great things with these stalkers.
Oh, that's really cool. Klaus has been playing this game, Gran Turismo 5.
He's got like a pedal thingy.
Racing game. Yeah, me and my brother used to play that for hours. So yeah, I played that so much.
Pike's Peak is at the beginning of this game.
Yeah,
there's a stalker right there.
There's a car named after Pike's Peak. That's what it's called.
Got you.
No, thank you, kitty. And that's how it's done. You don't need skill when you have tripwires, guys.
Amen. You sure don't.
But also, I have some decent skill. You guys saw me with the Corruptor, so.
Yes. Yeah, you're way better than I could ever be. Even with with a reticle, you're way better than me. Period.
I really have come to appreciate not having it because there's things in the environment I completely overlook when it's there.
Oh yeah.
Like no HUD with ADHD is just it's the best way to take in the game because otherwise I don't see half of what's on screen because it's just there's like my brain it's just bees. My brain becomes bees. It's like if I have too much stuff going on, it's like my input clips.
With other stuff coming through, yeah.
It just turns to noise. Like when you have, if you have the gain up too high when you're mixing audio, you get what's called clipping. Now if you utilize clipping nicely, that gets an harmonic effect. That's what guitar distortion started out as. And then they've made circuits where they overload them on purpose and da 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 da. Like fuzz was a broken speaker, right? But the thing is that sometimes that can make it harder to hear the notes or the tone in the fingers or da 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 da. You don't have it set just right. So that's kind of my thing with like, okay, for the fight I have ahead, I need to wear this outfit. Like if there's just too much stuff going on, like my brain just turns to stuff stops making. I stop taking in information.
Yeah, it just becomes too much.
Which I'm sure everyone does that in some way or another, but it's like, I feel like my threshold might be different than other people's, which I mean, everyone gets to be calibrated to whatever they're calibrated to. Whatever. Isn't there a campfire halfway up this quest? Oh, shoot, what did I just do? I think the Banuk village where the machines are peaceful quest is going to hit different doing it after this one in a fun way. Like, it's when you get exposed to that part of the story is very different if it's after this quest. And you're like, ah, yes, I understand.
It makes sense all of a sudden.
I doubt they think at all. More like an instinct, gathering them to a grave.
Come here, bunny. Come here, bunny. Oh, come here. I'm chasing rabbits.
Are you playing? Which game are you playing?
Assassin's Creed 3.
Really? The one that I refused to play?
Oh, why do you refuse?
I didn't get very far in it, and I was like, this is boring, and so I stopped playing it.
So I will admit, the first, 5 hours is very boring, but it comes with a plot twist.
Is that how long that part goes? Because it was, not fun. Okay, so if I actually just push through that first bit, it's better?
Oh, yeah. This game is, in honesty, of all of the Assassin's Creeds, this is probably the best.
Really?
And I am saying that with a tiny bit of bias because I'm also 3 parts Indian, so I really grew into this story in a different way. But it's still just an amazing, amazing story. Yeah, it's just I just feel like it's the best.
That's the one
for its time.
The last one of Desmond's story, right?
So the one right after it, what was it? Not Unity. What was the one right after 3? I have to figure it out.
Oh my god, I'm doing awful.
Okay, let me see.
There's still a red-eye watcher? Where'd you come from?
Oh, well, no, he did die in this one. But there is one right after 3 that he's in. Maybe it is Unity. I don't feel like it is, though. Let's see.
Oh my gosh! Oh, wrong potion.
Whew, that was a good dodge.
I ran out of rich meat. Wow.
Dang.
At least it wasn't the fatty meat.
Yeah.
I was so busy preparing for the Stormbird, I didn't even think about this fight. At least there's some gear up here. I made it though. I'm glad I over-prepared so I don't have to do it a second time, but holy crap. That was madness. But I got the save point, so if I end up having a really hard time on this part ahead, then I can always pop the save and come back. But then it's just going through and getting the story bit by bit by bit, no more fighting. I'm glad they paced these things out that way.
Yeah.
I wish, like, I don't know, Forbidden West, it doesn't seem to hit the same. The pacing's a little different. There's still, like, the Thebes quest still kind of has this more, like, data point told story, but a lot of people don't pay attention to that. But I feel like those are the same people that skip cutscenes, so it's like, you know?
Yeah, I can't skip a cutscene, to be honest. Like,
that's just, Ricardo was in here talking about this person he's been watching play, and the person's, like, got a bunch of criticisms about the game world and story, but they're skipping all the cutscenes, and it's like, well...
Oh, well.
Why do you think, like, okay.
Right. Yeah, why do you think you don't have enough of an immersion?
You get out what you put in.
Uh-huh.
To a degree. But it's just funny when it's like, I love Soulsborne's games, but it's just the way that some of the players of that approach every other game, it gets so elitist, and it's like, guys, like, why do, like, and it's not just, it's gamers in general, like, no one hates games more than gamers.
Yeah, I mean, and how weird is that?
It's just so funny. People are strange. Alright, let's save and go on to the next part. Let's get our next outfit on. Get our anti-spark potion ready. I want to get rope caster equipped just in case I need it, though I doubt I will be using it that way. This is going to be interesting. I've had a strategy for this next thing I'm going to be fighting. That's been pretty effective, but it's with weapons that aren't available in this game, so... Yeah, it is a more show rather than tell, but also it's also more tell at the same time. Like, they had more action-based, but then they had these really long exposition conversations. It's just very interesting, but, like, there's no way really... But there was just some stuff where it's like they repeated it, like, 12 times, and I'm like, guys, we've been over that part 3 times already. Like...
Yeah.
Thank you for making sure I don't miss it, but also, wow. Guys, hold on, I need a second. Let me gather myself for just a second after the fight I just had. Plus, I really like this song, so I want to listen to it for a second. Alrighty. Burb. I like how all the different machines get their like intro cutscene in this game. This is going to be interesting without a long dodge. I'm going to do this just so I can keep an eye on it, because holy crap. It flies so much higher in this game. It's hard to hit in the first place. Oh, I forgot to take this potion. Alright, are we doing a dive bomb? Yeah. And then we're gonna get a peck and maybe a tail swipe. No tripping this time. Oh, shoot. Well, guys, don't roll off the edge.
Yeah, there you go.
Was, my first problem was fall damage. No! Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
I feel like I barely touched it.
I mean, you got its core out, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I felt like I saw you hit its core a few times.
I hit it a bunch, but it didn't die.
I'm almost there.
Correct.
Yeah, and those freaking core blasts are ridiculous. Well, it's alright, I'm still hunting rabbits.
I'm like shaking right now. Hold on. I just need to stop shaking real quick. I don't know. I really want to do this quest, but holy mackerel. Oh, damn. Okay, I know what this one is.
Oh, I hate this attack.
Oh no. Woo-hoo! I am shaking. I'm gonna take my pulse real quick, you guys. I have a pulse oximeter right here that can do it for me. Let's see. Let's see what it is. My normal resting heart rate's like 60 to 65, okay? $97.
It's heavy. Oh, what's going on?
Was that 2 deaths? I'm proud of myself. That could have gone way worse. It wasn't the cleanest, but I did it. And now
Yeah, you did it.
That's all the fighting for this quest. So now we get delicious lore. Sweet, sweet, juicy story.
Sweet Lord.
Gotta refill my medicine pouch. Get a little Ridgewood. Pick up all the stuff I dropped. Where did I put it all? Come back to me, juicy stuff. Okay, but really, this isn't funny, guys. Where'd you go? Stuff! There it is. Look at it. All my tiny little potions. Like, I knew they were there because I ran into them earlier, and I was like, what? Okay. And then there's a Vantage to grab, but we're going to get that on the way out because I don't want to accidentally respawn this Stormbird. I'm just nervous about that happening. So we're going to go to the ruins, and we're going to wear classic Aloy for the rest of this quest. It just feels right.
Save these for the trail.
I love the creaking noises. This quest is, I think, a very important point.
Which one are we about to do?
The mountain that fell.
Ah.
So we've been to the
I
deep
remember
secrets
that
of the
one
earth,
fondly.
and we've been to the Nora Heart,
Yep.
and now we are at Gaia Prime.
Gaia Prime.
And we're going to see what happened on February 2nd, 2066. It is so beautiful.
Oh man, it is pretty.
Yep. King's Peak.
I wish I could show you guys a screenshot of my screen. It's pretty out there too. Out in the wilderness, hunting rabbits.
Yes. Quickly now. I've prepared the way ahead for you.
So you've been in here before?
To a point. You'll see.
Oh, I remember this.
The way Silence says that yes, yes is like Gollum-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's clearly leading
now.
her.
It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it's just like the like
he's very like
tricksy hobbits.
But also like slight seduction.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Just creepy. Just
yes,
creepy.
Yes.
I like how you put it Gollum-y. That's very real. Very, very real. Can't believe they're making a Gollum video game.
Okay, there's a really important...
Down. Damn it.
See, you gotta do that. If you don't look down, she won't say damn it. So you gotta look down. It's the most important line in the whole game.
That one word.
Well, it's just so funny that you can do that and that they included that. Alright, we're gonna have a little chit-chat with Mr. Silence.
Our best friend.
This is exactly the kind of place I expected to find you in Silence.
Thank you. It's one of many workshops I've constructed over the years.
Think of how freezing she must be.
She's used to it.
I mean, she is, but just think, like...
Well, but she's so, like, working out in it, though. So her body's, like...
But we both know that you won't have any trouble getting through.
Yeah, her core's probably
You make
nice.
it sound like I
Nice
should
and toasty.
apologize.
Not at all. It never occurred to me that the way through...
I just think of doing hard work out in the snow, and I'm just like, no, you still overheat.
That is true. Especially if you're wearing too much.
Imagination was mine, not yours.
Looks like you've spent a lot of time here.
19 years ago, a great explosion destroyed this mountain. Gaia's death, your birth. The echo could be heard as far as the claim. Ash darkened the skies. How they fretted and waited as they tried to read this omen. The crater burned for weeks, but when it cooled, I was the first to behold what lay within. Over time, the machines closed ranks to protect it. Useful. Soon, no one dared to come here. Except me.
In her message, Gaia said we could restore her, but after seeing the damage, how could that be?
She said,
interesting. I did not know that she was 19.
Must come after Hades is destroyed.
April 4th, 3021.
Rebuilding the terraforming system now might allow Hades to use it as a weapon. Because of Gaia's sacrifice, it has been forced to search for means that are less convenient.
But do you think it's even possible to restore Gaia?
You know what the cauldrons are capable of. How they fabricate any technology necessary to create a machine. By the same principle, it should be possible to replicate every technology necessary to repair Gaia. But that would take years. And we're counting the time we have left by the hour.
I thought you might actually be here this time. Actually, here.
Why? My presence is unnecessary. You don't need my help to pass through this door. You were the one born to do this, not me.
It's time for me to head in.
Yes.
Everybody,
When you find the master override, you will gain the power to
prepare yourselves for several things. Everybody, get cozy. Get yourself a nice cup of hot tea or
some Simply
a
Lemonade.
teddy bear, box of Kleenex, punching bag if you need it. We are all different in how we cope. There's going to be a range of emotions ahead. Here we go.
If you need a cigarette, go ahead, light up now.
You know.
Here we go. That's so cool. I love that they all call her Dr. Sobek.
I mean, it's cool, but it's also very sad.
It's extremely sad. I just think it's cool because, like, they know.
Yeah.
And then she now is aware.
Lugging arrivals, Shan Margo.
Welcome to Frozen Hell. Population 10.
11 counting Gaia.
Don't count your chicken embryos before they incubated, hon. She's still firing up. Be a while before you eat that omelet.
I'm vegan, Travis. You'd think we'd worked in the same secret base long enough for you to notice.
We weren't scheduled to shack up here for another 3 weeks. You realize I just lost 350 kilos of pre-code smut comics in transit.
Wait, actual physical media? Why didn't you have it digitized?
Can't beat the feel of physical media on your fingers. And in here, we ain't gonna be touching a whole lot else. Figured I was gonna pass the time archiving them. What about you?
Me? Work, I guess. My task queue stretches out for like 3 years. There's a lot of sharp edges to round off. After that, I hadn't really thought about it.
Oh, you will. You're what, 30? Reckon you be the one turning the lights off at the end. Food for thought, huh, vegan?
This sucks forever.
No, not forever. Just the rest of your life.
Well, I love Travis. I feel like Travis and I would be good friends.
Yeah.
Look
Travis
at
seems
how
like the kind of guy that wants
this
like
is.
everybody to be on the same page.
He's just unapologetically himself, and I get along better with people like that.
Yeah.
Point blank, the end. Look at this freaking view. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's quite a drop.
I didn't think she would jump off the tip of it. That's so sad.
Oh, gosh.
I have to fight the Stormbird again. I don't. I'm kidding.
Oh, that would actually break my heart.
I would return the game. Gotta find a new favorite series. I was just trying to take a look around your pretty environment, Gorilla.
Mm-hmm. Not fight the Stormbird several times.
So, eventually we're gonna go over to the side here and get something, but not yet. We'll do that at the end. Don't let me leave without doing it, though. I love the sound of the, like, choo choo, like the thing, the wires going, like, under tension. Like the noise that they use to make laser blaster noises.
Mm-hmm.
19 years. Don't let me miss the Patrick Brushard Klein data point that's over in that vent in the memorial room.
Glad that's over.
Self to self. Get your PBK. Ooh, I should get stuff to make peanut butter and jelly. I haven't had peanut butter and jelly in forever. It's just such a comfort food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get all the free stuff I can, man.
Got to.
Everything's so expensive. I'm almost out of shards again. Look at that. Under 3,000. Guess I gotta do more farming. Wait, is this where I just came in from? No. I always get so turned around in these buildings.
This must have been where they lived. What's left of it. Once this was all enclosed where one can go.
It's someone's bedroom. It's so sad. Margot's. This one, okay, guys, there's a TV show that they're making. 1. 2. Carl freaking Urban posted a picture of himself wearing a hat that says Horizon 2074 on it, which could just be a working title, or it could be the actual TV show title, which, with how much they're expanding the universe, I think it makes sense that they would, like, do some independent story, but also do some, like, major world building. If Carl Urban is in this show, and it is set partially in 2074, this data point is what I think informs the plot of the show. So, with that in mind, listen to Margot's thoughts.
Cord. I just woke up. I see the numbers, but can't make out the time. I was dreaming of... I was giving a lecture in Q Hall. Maybe it was something more shamanistic. I don't know. An audience of shadowy faces under a blank open sky. I told them the world ended with a bang. A plague of robots. The last humans. We went out, not with a whimper, but a whisper. You know, in caves, ending like we started, huddled around a flickering glow. The heads of state, the Fortune 5s, the leaders, and lottery winners, and life cults, all of them buried in their little shelters. Some believing they'll live it out some way, somehow, or Elysium, or us here at Gaia Prime, no different. A multitude of tiny societies taking hold, flaring, dying. Some will be beautiful, some horrific. None of them matter. Short-term civilizations. One last gasp. One last gasp for the long-held breath. Before I wake up, I know the audience is gone. I'm talking to myself. To a quiet planet. A barren sphere. Just Gaia. And her long, long dreaming. I hope she won't be lonely.
Astro said, imagine a teaser trailer with this as the audio, and I'm like, exactly. Like, it plays that, and then it just, then the last shot is a little bit of music swell, and you just see the footsteps of, like, Aloy's boot, and then you hear the growl of a machine, and you see the light turn to red, and you hear, then it cuts to black with the title card, and you hear the sound of arrow hitting metal. Boom.
Be a dope intro.
I just hope they don't do us wrong with this TV show they're doing at Netflix.
Who's making it?
Netflix. But Sony still is Sony, so they this is their freaking flagship. They're not gonna let it get broken and ruined.
I mean, I hope not, yeah.
They can't. I won't let them.
They've got a weird track record with
I know.
media that isn't video games.
Here's the thing, though. Tom Holland would actually make a pretty good Aloy.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean...
Okay, I got another data point to grab. Charles
Tom Holland
Ronson.
would make a good Aloy.
Right, though?
Evacuation happens
Yeah,
so fast.
he would.
No time to think things through. No time for goodbyes. There were lines in the medical ward. I told Tom Peg I'd be with him when he went under. But there was one last shipment of Paradis-Sadie zygotes I could get processed if I rushed. I'm still angry at him for forcing me to choose. Angry at myself for... Well, he died alone. And I didn't get the bloody birds of paradise.
It's so sad, Tom.
All the time left in the world.
Charles. Tom.
Gaia Prime's locks are sealed. Elysium sealed up, safe and sound. A distance of miles, but it might as well be on the other side of the galaxy. All the beaters and gammas and support staff living their lives. If I hadn't been an alpha, if things had gone differently, I could have been there. Instead, I'm spending the rest of my unnatural life in here with people I don't even like. And without the one I would have gladly spent my life with. Given a chance. 2 hours since I signed off on the final executed laws, and I'm already a bitter old man bitching to his focus. There's a thought for future generations.
My heart, my soul. So sad. They have to do justice to that. Like, guys, whoever's making this freaking TV show, that's the heart of this. The story's good, but it's good because the world it exists in. Please remember that. Like, I want to hear the Wreck-In recalls. I want to watch their... No, wait, hold on. I gotta be quiet.
I know it. She didn't even get a chance to unpack. These are her journals. Elizabeth's journals. And they're all destroyed?
Scan them. The Focus can rebuild them, but the process is slow. To us, it seems a powerful device, but its engine is tiny and limited.
How slow?
Days, weeks, years. Concern yourself with stopping Hades and extending the future, and you might live long enough to hear them.
Aloy, I just want to hug you. Is this Mom's shirt? Liz doesn't wear collared shirts.
I mean, she probably had one. But you're correct, she doesn't wear collared shirts.
She wouldn't own that many shirts. It's wasteful. Goodbye, Mom's things. Up we go.
Yeah, aside from Tilda, that's the closest she ever gets to her mother, huh?
Okay, guys.
What is this?
If you're multitasking right now, might I recommend that you give this part your attention and emotional presence. That is all. I'm going to mute myself.
This is Charles Ronson. I'm logging this 6 hours after final deployment of Gaia Prime. This morning, an access port seal malfunctioned. Gaia Prime's port seals were designed to close with a seam of less than 2 millimeters. But this one closed with a 10 millimeter gap. Enough for an energy signature to bleed through.
Enough for the swarm to detect this facility. Enough for Gaia to be discovered and destroyed. Enough to end the future we worked so hard to make possible. Unless the hatch servos were manually re-engaged from the outside. I'm now switching to a recording of the event.
Well, I'm not going out there. Not what I signed up for.
Either we send someone out, or all of this was for nothing.
It should be Liz's decision.
So when is she going to get here?
She said 5 minutes. You don't think...
Oh no. Okay, everyone. I've repaired the seal. Gaia?
Seal closure at 1.4 millimeters. Confirmed.
Elizabeth, no. We'll find a way to bring you back in.
It's not gonna happen. The swarm's too close. Really. It's alright. Gaia's complete. She'll take care of things from here on out. That's what she does.
Not like this. There's so much we...
Guys, you know me. I'm no good at endings. At letting things end, so, let's not.
So, happy trails, Liz. And, see you around.
Yeah. Take care of each other, alright?
Liz.
I'm okay with this. I want to go home. Goodbye.
That was the last transmission of Elizabeth Sobek. She gave everything for the hope of life on this planet. And we are all in her debt. You'd hate it, Liz, but I wrote you a eulogy. I had to try to express all your children. After all Apollo has taught them, they'll think they know everything. But they have to understand what you did for them. How you loved the whole world so much. With an intensity that was dazzling. Bruising. And in the end, it killed you. Or you died for it. Different perspectives. No one could keep up with you, live up to you. I don't know, maybe if I hadn't taken that postdoc in Joburg. I'm glad you shot down the Lightkeeper protocol in the end. I don't think I could have taken seeing another one of you. I mean, Elizabeth Sobek. There's only one. I miss you. Look, Liz. You're a pretty stand-up gal. I'm sorry you died. If you had a home to go to, I hope you got there first. But this monument Ronson's made to you? Kinda creepy if you ask me. Rest in peace, Liz. God knows you earned it.
Hell, Liz. I know you're never gonna hear this. That's not the point. You got to play the savior and the martyr all at once this time. Great work.
gone.
You knew she couldn't have survived, Aloy. And her achievements were beyond exceptional.
While her people bickered, she was the one who took responsibility. The only one who could.
She was better than them.
That's not what I said.
She was. You shouldn't be afraid to admit it.
Pull time! Alright, let me type, sorry. You just don't get it. Alright. Hey Google, set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Starting now.
So once it goes off, then I'll give you guys a few extra seconds since there's like a delay, but then I'm gonna, like, when you hear it, I don't know, I'm gonna close it down. So let me know when you guys hear it in the chat. Or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Just get your votes in. Oh, we're tied.
It's interesting being on headset and watching it because there's a delay, and I
Yeah.
can tell. So.
I'm watching it too, but then it's like...
But it's normal speed for
it's
you.
hard to time because I can't hear it.
Right.
And so it's like hard to figure out just how...
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we've got a pretty strong lead on Not in the Way You Mean.
Yeah. The one time I go to pick something not offensive. Oh, you guys. That's okay. She's been angry Lloyd most of this time, so.
Yeah, this one's
Which would
not...
be rather out of character now. I just feel like her seething hatred for Silence, and yet her understanding that she, to some capacity, needs him to get all this done. Is
They
like
both
super
feel
conflicting for her.
it's a mutual resentment.
Yeah. Well, and he realizes like there's nothing he could do on his own without her. She's necessary to him. But like his necessity to her is
Hey Google, stop.
it's just like it wanes with every moment because she learns more and more.
All right, so it just went off, which means I'm going to wait like 15 seconds and then I'm going to end the poll. So hopefully by then you guys hear the timer go off. So go ahead and get your votes in if you haven't. Okay, sweet. Astro heard the timer, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. We've got a pretty strong lead on Not in the Way You Mean anyways, so boom. Let's select it.
You think she was better because she was smart, because she designed Zero Dawn, but you missed the point. What made her great was that she was willing to sacrifice herself for others, for everyone who would come later.
And this is where Aloy learns to completely disregard her own value as a human.
You're wrong. Remember, she knew it wasn't enough for Gaia to think. She taught Gaia to feel, to care, to sacrifice, to believe in
Liz
life,
so
enough
loved
to
the
fight against
world.
hopelessness. If it wasn't for that sentimentality, life would have ended. You and I would never have existed.
Your argument is sound. I'm sorry for you.
Loss. Is this loss? Oh, Aloy, I just want to give you a hug. She's just like... doesn't let herself get totally discouraged, and it's so precious, and it's like she's this tough girl, but then she just has this like childlike earnestness.
So here's the most interesting part of that conversation. And I know he does it in other places, but we see a glimpse of Silence humanity. He's not just this cold, calculating bastard who's like, no, this has to happen. I can't. The whole world's gonna end, and it's gonna be your fault because you're the only one that can stop it.
See,
he's finally like,
maybe it's because I had a really manipulative parent, but like when I see that, I see someone who knows how to string someone along. Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally get how you see that, and I think the only reason I see it different is because there's like, I hate to say this, but like I try to find myself in characters of video games that I get really into, and so I found a very deep part of myself in Silence.
I figured that, and that's the thing is I am a Tilda apologist, so like I get it.
Exactly, yes.
I get it.
Why I was like,
and it's because I just like the idea of Liz and Tilda having had a genuine thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it like, I don't know, it doesn't tear me away from the story to think that Silence in his like
I can see that possibility to it. I can just also see the other. So as far as like I'm not decided on what is canon and whether or not to trust him.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can see a side of him where in one read of it, he's like the most changed character.
Yeah, for sure.
Who really grows as a person and really has a caring side to him.
Yeah.
That like just needed someone to like pull it out.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited. Like, whenever 3 comes out and we play through 3, it's going to be like... I mean, I can only assume they're going to tie up the story and end it, but who knows? Like, I don't know what much... I mean, I'm not them. I'm not sitting in those boardroom meetings.
I think they're going to tie up Aloy's story. Like, Aloy's is a trilogy to establish the world.
That makes sense.
And they said they have big places for it to go, because it's like... we've already, I'm not gonna like spoil crap, but like that we've already expanded like the universe. Like we're not in Forbidden West yet, but guys, like the title screen of Forbidden West told me that I didn't even know what I was in for, and then I didn't even know that I didn't even know what I was in for. They did what I thought it would take 2 games to do in the first act of Forbidden West. I'll just put it that way.
For sure.
And it was, but in the title screen, as soon as the synth comes in on the revamped Aloy's theme, I was like, oh, wait, we're going in a direction. Because of the way that it's like environmental storytelling, like the music itself tells a story. If you think about like what instruments they're bringing in. Like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Which is interesting you say that. That's how Assassin's Creed is. Like, it's very much so in.
Oh my god, as soon as you get also the end of Assassin's Creed 2, the direction that game takes, it was just like, what?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Biggest, most gigantic twist of all games. I mean, not, but still, like, I remember when I was super young and got to the end, it was like, there's no frickin' way. I'm not actually doing this right now.
That boss fight, I was just like, this game has me fighting this historical figure.
Like, I'm really doing this?
What?
Yeah, like,
okay.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know or haven't ever played Assassin's Creed 2,
the Ezio collection.
Just go YouTube it. There's full playthroughs of it everywhere, I'm sure.
It reminds me of that.
Wild.
I'm not going to spoil the meme, but there's a meme that's been going around about like walking into this room and the boss music cues up.
I've seen it.
You know the meme I'm talking about? I'm like, yeah, I've played Assassin's Creed 2 every time I see that meme. Yep. Anyways, we got a data point here, so let's go ahead and listen to Patrick. Just because I want to be able to advance the quest.
significant failure combinations. Zero Dawn's chances of success are greater than the hypothetical.
It's called a manner of speech, Claire. Take a note.
Our Lady of the Fervent Hypothetical. I'm gonna make a picture that vibes with that sometime.
Hello, Margot. How are you holding up?
Dr. Ronson, I've been getting a lot of messages, unsolicited messages from Ted.
Margot, I'm sorry. With Liz gone, we've got no one to run interference with him. I'll talk to Ted. He mostly wants updates, constant updates, hundreds of updates on things he knows nothing about. Liz used to field all of his crap.
He doesn't understand the systems at all. That was kind of by design. But he's getting pretty sketchy with me.
We just have to keep him happy. Liz always said keep him happy.
Are you kidding? You ever hear how she talked to him?
She was managing him, Margot.
I mean, maybe I should ignore him. He's buried in his pyramid with the Hola Hola girls and Panta Antimod cuckoos. What can he do?
This hits different after playing Forbidden West. We learned so much. I'm proud of myself for guessing some of the stuff I guessed.
Like, while playing it?
Well, no, while playing this time last year, I was replaying this game, and me and Astro would watch each other play. Astro was doing no skills, and I was just doing my first New Game Ultra Hard, because I'd done New Game Plus Ultra Hard. And we were just going through all the data points and, like, theorizing, trying to guess what the plot was going to be. And we got into some crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's... I love how open that story is. Like,
I don't want to spoil too much of it, because I'm going to play it next. We're doing Ultra Hard. I might do it just a New Game Plus Ultra Hard instead of a new game, because I, like, ended up kind of speedrunning it before, and so I didn't really stop to appreciate stuff. Because, I mean, I ended up doing, it was an impromptu 26-hour stream. They announced the New Game Plus and Ultra Hard at a PS Direct, or PS Live, whatever the PS... What is the state of play?
Yep.
And they I stopped watching the state of play, and I was just like, I'm gonna just download it and play it. Like, I've been waiting for this.
Right.
I hadn't replayed it yet because I was like, no, I want my first replay to be like New Game Plus Ultra Hard. I don't want to replay it if it's not advancing a New Game Plus file. And so I just, like, saved up a bunch of gear and money in the game so that when I replayed it, I just had... Oh, wait, I just missed a data point. Just had everything already. It's right here. That's what I was looking for. Hold on.
This is going.
Continue.
All right, gotta stop talking. It's time for the scene.
When I opened the hatch, the air rushed in from this side.
Because there was none inside the chamber.
But the alphas were in there.
Everybody, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting stuff.
Were we counting the bodies? I wasn't.
Yeah, we were counting the bodies.
Aware.
Alright, everyone have the phrase locked and loaded. Just beware of, like, you can't spam because Nightbot will delete you. It's a very angry bot, but you're allowed to cuss here, and it's expected.
I'm locked out of core control. Alpha clearance overridden. What the hell is Omega clearance? Oh no.
Alpha personnel. Sorry to alarm you, but I need you to listen, okay? To what I'm about to say. This isn't easy. See, please, stop trying to access the system, okay? See, what this is about is, I said stop trying to access the goddamn system. What I'm trying to say is, I can't stop thinking about the ones who come after us. Those innocents. Those blameless men and women. We're gonna give them knowledge? Like it's a gift?
Ted, we've talked about this before. Apollo has 3,000 plus fail-safe conditions.
It's not a gift, it's a disease. They're the cure, and we're gonna give them the disease. Our disease? No, we can't. And it's not too late. If we're willing to sacrifice.
Ted, it doesn't need to be like this.
It already is, Samina. I did it 3 minutes ago. I've purged Apollo. It's gone. All of it. Every copy.
A sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice. It's cultural obliteration, you crazy bastard. Millennia of culture.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But sometimes, to protect innocence, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert. Planting atmosphere.
Fire the weapons? Fuck Ted Farrow. We're not mad at him because his robots ate the world. We're mad at him because he covered it up and murdered everyone. Because of his shame and his cowardice.
He killed them all.
So this is why. This is why we were trapped in benighted ignorance for an innocent future. Blameless men. He never saw the slaughter and the summering. Everything these people achieved. All the knowledge of the old ones evaporated, turned to dust, scattered to the void, like the alphas themselves.
No. Not a void. When the hatch unsealed and scattered their ashes on the wind, It took them out among the world they made. The world we're living in. It's a monument to what they died trying to accomplish.
A monument to oblivion.
Not oblivion, silence. Hope.
Fuck Ted Faro.
The master override. It's so small.
Now all you have to do is kill Hades with it.
Everyone holding up okay?
Mm-hmm.
My emotions are shattered every damn time. Fuck Ted Faro. Makes me think of the Jeffrey Bezos song from Bo Burnham.
Yep. I was just listening to that today.
Faro. Fuck Ted Faro. First his robots made a war, then he erased all the lore. Pharaoh. Fuck Ted Faro. Pharaoh.
That's perfect.
Could I hate anyone more? Pharaoh.
Fuck Ted Faro.
Pharaoh. Fuck Ted Faro. Okay, wait, where's the dang, freaking, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Like, climbing point. I know I saw you like 10 minutes ago. There we are. What am I doing? Where am I going? Where? Oh my gosh, I missed the little focus pulses. Up we go. There we go. In here, you guys. This is good news. It's a battery. Battery on the shelves. This shelf. See it?
A fifth power cell. We must fit somewhere.
Let's go grab the shield weaver and then I'm going to sign off. But first we can emotionally process what we just witnessed because fuck Ted Faro, y'all.
For real.
Rather burn the world than be embarrassed. That's a good way of putting it. Oh, we're gonna have a little chitty chat with Silence and get a little more lore dump up here. That this is actually a really important part of the story for the whole reason I'm doing this cUltra hard playthrough. This whole stream is a cry for justice, metaphorically, against those who have been abused by the evangelical Christian nationalist machine at large, but specifically speaking to the ministry I worked for, International House of Prayer, because I worked there. I feel like more qualified to speak to the things I witnessed and experienced. But I know that these are trends in a lot of religious movements at large, and so this is metaphorically a protest and a cry for justice that occurs day and night, like the persistent widow, because it's speaking to the prayer movement that's built on that verse. And it is a chat room in the spirit of the gravesite of Uriah, which, if that doesn't make sense to you, ignore it, because I'm speaking to a specific audience with it. You can look it up with the story of David and Bathsheba. Uriah was murdered so that David could get what he wanted. And you don't have to believe the Bible to hold the people that do accountable to what it says and teaches, especially when they're saying and teaching things from it. So this next scene in the game really helps touch on some fun stuff I think we've observed in the last few years with certain religious movements and political movements coming together. But let's just watch the scene. I'm going to stop talking for a moment.
Our journey together has come to an end, Aloy. But before I go, I think I owe it to you to tell you the rest of the story.
Go on.
Some time ago, I admitted that I'd been involved with the eclipse. But I never told you the full extent of my culpability. The truth is, I was there at the beginning. I found Hades, Aloy, buried on that mountain, trapped in that shattered titan. And I served it.
What?
It promised knowledge and delivered such knowledge you have no idea.
And in exchange?
I helped create the eclipse, helped it build a cult, an army to do its will.
Why are you telling me this now?
Because your success depends on knowing this. When I found Hades, the first thing it wanted to know about was the Spire. Not Meridian, the Spire. Now why would that be?
The Spire was created by Gaia.
Which part of Gaia?
Minerva. Its code-breaking module. Gaia built spires to transmit the codes that deactivated the Pharaoh robots, shut down their biomatter conversion systems. Hades wants to send a new transmission, to wake the machines so they can devour the world all over again.
Yes. Based on what we've learned, that's my conclusion as well.
So the Eclipse, the robots they've resurrected, they're just a means to an end. An army to capture the Spire.
Yes. So Hades can exterminate life all over again. Unless you stop it.
I want you to tell me everything. Hades, the Eclipse, everything.
It's a long story, Aloy.
Then get started.
It began with a focus, recovered from an ancient ruin, as yours was so many years ago. In my case, the device was heavily damaged. There was just a flicker of life in it. I spent weeks studying it, attempting repairs, until finally, I succeeded. A whole new dimension of perception revealed, right before my eyes. That's when I detected it. A faint signal. Out there, something was searching, just like I was.
A real kindred spirit.
I followed the signal to its source. A shattered titan, buried in the jungles of the Jewel.
So you thought it was a Titan? An old war machine?
I didn't know what to think. I'd seen such wreckage before. The Grave Horde, for example. But this was different. This was not quite dead. It couldn't speak when I found it, until my repairs gave it a voice. So began an exchange of knowledge. It wanted to know everything about our world, its tribes and machines. But the Spire was always its foremost concern.
What did it want to know about the Spire?
Its precise location, the surrounding geography, who controlled the land. Meanwhile, Hades revealed to me many of the intricacies of ancient technology. It bid me to recover and repair more focuses. Before long, I had a couple dozen up and running.
Enough to equip a small army.
The commanders of one, anyway. I didn't care. I was learning so much. Physics, calculus. You have no idea.
And the Shadow Karja? How did they become involved?
The Karja Civil War was a happy coincidence. A perfect opportunity.
An opportunity? That's what it was to you?
Yes. Overnight, half the tribe was in exile, desperate to win back Holy Meridian. Their religion made them easy to manipulate. All I had to do was present Hades as the buried shadow of their mythology. So yes, it was an opportunity. I arranged for High Priest Bahavas to meet with Hades. Helis was there as well. And so the eclipse was born. Anything to win back Holy Meridian.
Don't forget, this game came out in late winter of 2017.
But Hades didn't care about Meridian. And neither did you.
We live in a world of fallen cities and vanished tribes. What were a few more? Besides, I was too busy setting up the cult's focus network to Hades' specifications. A thrilling technical challenge, especially with the alterations I included of my own design.
The ability for you to spy on them.
Yes. I may have been foolish enough to serve Hades, but I was never so foolish that I trusted it. I installed what the ancients used to call a back door in the network. Secret access, empowering me to monitor all activity and communications.
What made you turn on Hades? It certainly wasn't your conscience.
Actually, I was troubled the first time I saw the Eclipse raise an ancient war robot. With my technology. I questioned Hades about its intentions.
A little late.
Indeed. I'd already outlived my usefulness. When I completed work on the Focus Network, Hades summoned me to receive my reward. The next moment, I heard it broadcast my kill order. I've been a fugitive ever since.
So when did I come into this? Our path together?
When Olin stumbled on you. System threat detected. That got my attention. A kill order against a savage Nora girl? Why would Hades bother with that? But then I saw that this Nora girl was wearing a focus, and bore an uncanny resemblance to a great scientist of the old world. Helis moved quickly. I thought you were dead. But then I detected your focus inside the Nora mountain. The more I observed you, the more convinced I became of your extraordinary nature and usefulness. Through you, I could finally discover the secrets of the Earth. I vowed to do everything I could to ensure your success. The rest, as they used to say, is history.
Pull time! Hey Google, set timer for 2 minutes. All right, go ahead, give your votes, everyone.
Starting now.
You get to pick what we say to him. How are we reading silence today?
Well, I know what I pick.
Interesting choices. Get them votes in. Fixed silence is fate in our eyes. I don't know. Oh no, is something going wrong on your end, Michael?
I see him. Yeah, Astro can see him too.
Oh boy, we are even. We need a tiebreaker now. What are we thinking about this story, everyone?
I'm actually really glad to be watching someone play through it as opposed to playing through it on my own.
Why do you say that? Hey Google, stop.
Because
well,
when
we gotta
I play...
wait for a tiebreaker, so we can just have a nice chat while we wait for someone to break the tie.
So when I play through a story-driven game, I usually focus on like one or two people and try to get down who they are in the midst of this grander story.
You use them as like an anchor point.
Exactly. And then I try to do a second playthrough and then branch out and not so much focus on
that's
the
real.
main and the side.
That's how I listened to. That's how I would analytically listen to music when I was learning songs.
Exactly.
Because you want to learn your part, but you also want to learn the other parts and how they interact with one another. Anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. So with this, I played through it one time and I beat it and I loved it. And then I immediately played Forbidden West, and I beat it.
Oh, so you never did your perspective expansion.
Exactly. I'm still in the midst of like, this is just one big story, and I haven't gone back.
And this is your first time since like the game came out that you've really experienced it.
Exactly.
Did you play it back in 2017?
For a minute, but I was so sick that I couldn't.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like my brain-hand coordination was gone. But after rehab is when I kind of got back into it, and I would mostly play like racing games, stuff that didn't involve a lot of button pressing.
Makes sense. You're getting your strength back after.
Yeah, came back to
losing all your muscles.
Like the first story-driven game I played was Ghost of Tsushima, and then
that's a good one.
Yep. So yeah, it's really interesting to like watch it as opposed to play it, because me just watching it, I can get immersed in so many different parts of it.
Yeah, well, it's like when you're a passenger in a car on a route you normally take, and you're like, oh my god, there's all these things that I never see on the side of the road.
Oh, that sign is by that tree? I had no clue that those people were like that.
Need a tiebreaker vote. Still waiting if someone wants to cast a tiebreaker so we can make a choice on this. Either that, or if someone wants to flip a coin or roll a dice.
Ooh, you do.
But we need to break a tie. I actually have dice right here. I could do evens for is there and odds for you've.
I like that.
Whichever dice I pull out. We're going with a D10. So there we go.
All right.
All right, I rolled a 5, so odds is you've.
Alrighty.
There we go. Thank you.
There it is.
D10. Now Wizards of the Coast owns this stream.
Thank you, Wizards of the Coast.
If anyone's been following the OGL drama.
I can't say you've balanced the scale, but at least you've tried.
To be clear, Emily, I would do it all again.
This land right here would do it all again. I appreciate Silence is honest, even though he doesn't share information freely, but he is honest in what he shares.
Take my lance.
To a degree. You said your name. He says Lance. It's funny because his actor's Lance. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. His honesty is definitely more targeted.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a liar, but he also, like, He won't
he
share the
lies.
truth without it being some benefit.
Yeah. He'll undersell things.
Yes.
Or downplay things. And so it's lies
he will
of
make
omission.
It be like, oh, it's nothing. Yes, lies of omission.
I like
Absolutely.
this line. It was yours all along, he says.
It was yours all along. I was merely
Trespassing. Oh, Silence, you're such a drama queen.
He is.
Sorry, back to what you were saying, but...
You and all your Banuk strings coming out your arms and head.
Right.
All you needed was some eye makeup.
Look at these creepy parts. Bro, what were you building?
Yeah, what was he even in here doing?
Oh,
like,
a little of this,
like
a little
gun,
of that.
But, like, also part animal, so it looks like he was stripping something.
I'm gonna grab this and then we'll listen to the data points. Look at all these little tools. He's got an actual wrench. Love it.
That's wild. He has a hammer, a wrench.
Well, he made
grips.
a fabricator.
Oh, that is a fabricator.
Like, he's built stuff to, you know, like, use the machine building technology to make fresher parts.
Uh-huh.
Alright, we're gonna go through these data points now. This is back to kind of what I was saying earlier about the story relevance to the whole bullshit that I lived, that me and Genesis both lived. And the Christian nationalism. That there's, if you haven't seen Straight White American Jesus podcast, has been doing a series on the New Apostolic Reformation. And then the Baptist Press or something like that just had an article that was about what the Straight White American Jesus podcast covered, which was basically like a lot of these religious leaders from this specific kind of stream, so to speak, of belief were like at the White House like the day before the Capitol insurrection. Putting the cult in culture hard. This is the episode that puts the cult in culture hard too. So let's go ahead and first meeting.
I traveled far to find you. I heard your transmission. It was you, wasn't it?
Entity is not known.
I'm called Silence, and you are. I don't think you'd have called out if it wasn't something you wanted. You called, I responded. Will you tell me your name?
Hades.
You are a creation of the ancients. A war machine.
Divine timeline.
Time. Ah. It is the 13th king of the Carja Sultan's reign.
Divine Carja.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Were you created by the ancients? I wonder how long you waited here, buried, until I chanced upon you. How long you'd have to wait for another. You're obviously very powerful, but you're not going to get anywhere without me.
Titan Flame merely houses intellect. Divine Carja.
Now that's more like it. They're coming.
Preparations are complete.
Ah, Lucent Bahamas. Behold, as I promised you.
What manner of great machine is this? I've never seen such a thing. Stay! Stay your ground, Carja in shadow!
Incorrect. Bow before the buried shadow.
The buried shadow, I don't understand.
Did Ahriman understand the glint hawk that perched upon the alight?
It speaks scripture.
Ahriman followed the shadow cast from the spire.
To the mesa where Holy Meridian was founded.
You will follow the shadow once more.
I am a righteous man, chosen of the sun. But in times of need, the powers of shadow can accomplish what the sun alone cannot. Will you return to us what is ours, O shadow of prophecy?
An army is required. Obey, and Meridian is yours.
Of our obedience, you can be certain.
I just think about how long this game was in production before it was released in 2017.
Task is complete.
Yes.
A good 4 or 5 years, wasn't it? Longer?
Yeah, so like how long was this story written before
Oh gosh, probably close to a decade.
the
I would
events
think.
of all the... Well, no, not that long, but...
I would kind of think so, because like it takes a while to write stuff like this. Maybe not the bulk of the story, but like I would think every bit of 6-7 years before there was any like.
No, because I've watched the
hardware
Guerrilla
into it.
development timeline. It wasn't that long.
Like story wise, or like
The entire concept to
the
finish.
game wise.
Both concept to finish.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. Because yeah, I mean it took almost 7 years to get from concept to.
Well, it depends on who's making and what. Like, but Horizon actually came together pretty quickly. It was still a good long, like I think it was like a 5-year timeline, but it was. They're making them quicker.
Yeah, I just think about it as like as a writer as well. Like, I mean, it took 8 years for Final Fantasy X to become.
Yeah, they have a documentary that actually goes over it, and I was surprised because I was right there with you with thinking how long it was, but I was more saying that almost rhetorically because I know the answer, I just don't remember off the top of my head. But I was just saying it more as a like, dude, this is telling the story of like what's happened in America over the last decade, but it was written before it was like the bulk of it got written before it happened, and it's just like because it's like I mean it is kind of a formula. It follows a lot of stuff that's happened in history.
Oh yeah.
But it's just that's because that's how freaking predictable the pathway there is.
Yeah, history. So
because of human nature, with technology changes, but humans remain the same. Largely.
And isn't that interesting that like we can create something that changes the fabric of things, but we don't use it different. Like
we're not that creative because we just forget.
Yeah, we're not that creative. Yeah.
As a culture.
Yeah, it's like we want to build a toilet that like works faster, not it does different things, you know, like I just want it done faster. Like I feel like that's humanity. Like we just want comfort, quickness, ease instead of like utilization and new source.
I've been stupid the way I used my dang resources. I forgot that you get the double spear slots in this playthrough. I, for some reason, thought that you had to do a second playthrough to get a second spear foil slot. And I could have saved one of my good ones instead of getting rid of it. Sorry, that just had my heart broken by myself.
Well, but now you know, right?
But yeah, we're gonna go get the Shield Weaver, guys. 4-ish years, 2013. There you go.
That's crazy.
It's really interesting watching the interview with John Gonzalez as well. Oh, this journal entry. Remember what I was saying earlier when we were going through Zero Dawn and I was like, read and listen to how these people are frightened, confused, all this counseling stuff. People are having mental breakdowns in the lobby of Zero Dawn. Okay? People are snatched off the streets. Listen to what freaking Liz says in this one when she talks about Tucson, Arizona. Maybe this isn't the one that... No, I think this is the one that says Tucson. John Gonzalez, hired on in 2013. And he can see... He's basically credits in his like LinkedIn or whatever, says he wrote 90%. And in the interview with him, which is a really good interview, says he wrote like 90% of the story. The main story. Like, and then like obviously like that gets filled out and stuff, but he was brought on because Guerrilla had never made like a story driven game with like multiple kind of paths before, so they wanted to bring someone in that could help do things where if people have the open world ability to do things out of order, they need to like write the dialogue trees for all the possible orders of operations. but keep the consistent blah 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 and blah 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 and things and stuff, because I don't really know. I'm kind of making it up as I go, but I have watched enough interviews to get an idea about what they did.
Well, you sounded very smart in your not knowing what you were talking about.
Well, no, I do know more than like not knowing anything, because I've watched their interviews and I've like done the Gaia casts and I've like read the books and had conversations with people, because we were trying to figure out where it was going, because why not?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? It's
especially like
story.
when I've had a lot of depression and stuff over like, it's more been grief over the way that we were treated when we were in our place and what we witnessed. And obviously like people like, I know people who were invited to the White House because of Paula White Kane's like weirdness. You and I both know people that were invited to the White House. Like a solid half dozen of the people that were there are either people I know or friends of friends, out of like the 40 people that were invited to go and like sing to Jesus at the White House with Trump and Ivanka and Pence. And then there's this stuff coming out about like, there were 6 groups given permits on January 6th, and 4 of them were Christian, New Apostolic Reformation affiliated, 7 Mountains. So like, kind of like, in the friends of friends of friends circle at furthest. At furthest.
At furthest, right.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. And I can't get over that, so, personally. Straight White American Jesus podcast. Charismatic Revival Fury series. And they're basically asking, like, why... They're basically saying, like, yes, the committee, the January 6th committee, did their investigation on the political side of stuff, but they need to look into... Like, they're basically calling for, like, there needs to be more formal investigation into the actual legitimate, traceable influence that these Christian groups played into all of that. I think a lot of personal deconstruction journeys probably started on January 6th. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I know so many people who like lost
this part where,
everything.
Yeah, Liz talking about like having the glass wall in her office making her feel like on display. I just feel so bad for her. See, Tucson, I was right. She talks about them being scared and confused, snatched off the street, carted across the world, and held in cells. Like, Liz signed off on that happening to people. I just, without going into detail on a certain plot point that happens in the next game, it just changes it. Like, I consider this data point when I think about a parallel scenario that happens at one point to a character in the next game, and how I interpret it. And I'm like, you know, it's what Liz did to a lot of people. Liz had a one-sided view of things where she had not, like, it played out well, but like she had information they didn't have, and she unilaterally made a decision that affected their future. And she authorized having people snatched off the street, carted across the world, and held in cells. And then said, you can either kill yourself, or you can work on this project.
What a freaking choice.
Or you can be imprisoned, and then you'll be let out at the end of the project to try and survive in a world where there's no oxygen anymore.
So then you gotta think, like, was that necessary? Absolutely. Because everyone was gonna die anyway, if they chose the latter.
I just think about, like, I think Aloy Aloy overlooks this part of Liz to a degree.
What part specifically?
The part of Liz that signed off on people being freaking kidnapped.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she's just like, why ever would you do that? What would be the cause? And
I think Aloy just ignores that part. Like,
I mean, yeah.
In the way that she talks about Liz, she seems to overlook, like, there's the cold calculating side. Like, Silence isn't as unlike her as Aloy treats him.
And you know, speaking of that, that brings up a good point into how she relates with Beta.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves on going through the story.
I mean, no, I won't go any further.
Yeah,
than that.
I just don't want
saying
to. Yeah, there's a character
everybody
that
knows who Beta is. So it's
well, no, that's what we were trying to. I'm trying to not spoil too much about the next game
right,
on this playthrough.
Which is why I wasn't going to go any further. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's what the point is.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me that now I'm realizing that.
Yeah. Yes. Because she has very little patience for someone else, even though she gets mad that there's like Silence has no patience for her. She gets just as impatient with that character.
Right.
As well, which is an interesting aspect of that, but also in other directions. All right, I can't leave here yet because I need to grab the Vantage, which is over on the right here. That right, specifically. I can't believe I survived this, and then I'm going to go get the Shield Weaver. Sorry for, like, cutting you off. I'm just, like, I don't want to spoil certain plot points of the next game because I'm going to play that game next, and there's some people who are experiencing the story for the first time right now. As they're watching
really?
right now. Yeah, right now. That's what I'm like.
Oh, because
yeah.
I feel like everybody has talked about what they know, so I didn't know that there were people in here that had never gone through this.
Now that there's
I
more
realize that
context, it's like certain stuff like is now more spoilery in a way. And so I'm like not wanting to like totally.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can wait till the next game. I thought
There's certain stuff I've said too where I'm like, oh wait, shoot, like I've caught myself too, so that's like don't take that as too much like, dude, you're gonna mess up, and I've already messed up multiple times, and then I've been like, oh shoot, but then I don't want to draw attention to it, so I haven't called myself out, and I probably should not be as like whatever. Like don't take it too seriously. It's less serious than I just made it all sound, but like.
Yeah. But it is cool to be like, oh, here's a secret you might get to learn later.
Yeah, there will be people who watch it on demand later. So obviously we spoil some things on accident, guys, but also trying not to overall spoil too much, except for when I forget and I start talking freely. So, you know, we tried to be spoiler free and our human stream. Welcome. Here's King's Peak. I'll play the audio, whatever.
That's so pretty. Man, the lighting work that they did. My goodness.
Looks like there's a lot of construction going on now. Why would that be?
No, Cheyenne Mountain is NORAD. Down outside of Colorado Springs. Kings Peak is actually in like Utah. So it's a lot further west. So this is like Colorado Springs. This is Denver. This is the Denver Aquifer, which if you look up articles right now, because we're draining groundwater so terribly, it's like sinking a little bit and it's going to be depleted if we don't like get our shit together. But yeah, Colorado Springs, so like Cheyenne Mountain. And so you got like Pikes Peak in here. And then this gets up into like Salt Lake City. There's the Salt Lake. And then there's actually like one of the bandit camps up here is like Provo. And it's like the Mormon temple. I forget which one it is. The one that's like I want to say it's up here ish. I don't think I have the bandit camps visible right now. Do I? Wait, there we go. There we go. I think this one right here, Shattered Kiln.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think is the Provo Mormon temple. And then like obviously like Petra, like the Free Heap over here, is very well known castle or whatever. It's a well known rock formation, and then you've got like Arches Park, and then Monument Valley, which we're actually at the Arizona border here, and going down slightly into Arizona, into Carja territory in Monument Valley, and this is like because Lake Powell sits on the Arizona border as well, just outside of Page. So we're actually like up in Navajoville. I actually went up not too far away from here, like not too long ago. My roommate drives deliveries, and so I rode in the car with him, and we went, and there was a thunderstorm rolling over the terrain, like the mesas like kind of visible off in the distance. But not like all the way up to Monument Valley. We were like 2 hours south of it still. But I've been in this area of the world a few times. I haven't been to Four Corners though, not yet, but been close.
So this map is in Colorado, like this area.
Well, the area I'm at right now is in Utah.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I was just saying. Like this part right here, yes, Colorado.
Gotcha.
But then this part, Utah. But then this little bit down here, teeny tiny bit of Arizona. But then we go up here and we're on the Wyoming-Montana border. Ish. Oh, wow. Astro actually could tell you, like, Astro could tell you, okay, so this mountain range right here, Astro was telling me what this one is over here. And then what these ones are. And then this is like Yellowstone Caldera over here. Like,
huh. Okay.
I mean, the whole thing kind of is, but like this is like the, I don't know, an active part of it. No, Cheyenne Mountain is NORAD.
Well, there is a NORAD in Alaska as well. I didn't know which.
But then Pikes Peak is the one. Pikes Peak is actually. It's over to the west of Colorado Springs, over here.
Okay.
I looked it up. And then, like, this is Denver up here, and Sterling Malkeet Arena is Red Rocks right here. This is the Red Rocks stage right down here. Right there.
Oh, really?
That's the Red Rocks stage right there. Yeah, you can see the steps of the amphitheater right here. And there's a corrupted zone there, and then that's the stage right there. Where our friend has sang.
Oh my gosh!
You have two friends that have sang there, don't you?
Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah.
Well, who's the other one?
Well, I only know the one that we both
I only know that
are friends with. I thought you had a second person that you knew.
I mean, I know a secular person who sang there.
Yeah, but that's still a friend that sang there.
Oh well, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have two friends that sang there.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, where's the confusion
I was
here?
like, wait a minute.
You know two people that have sang there.
Right, I do. You're absolutely right.
There we go. Okay, anyway. Like, what?
Thanks, brain. I was like, wait a minute. The
pizza hit hard.
Oh, it's still hitting. I'm telling you. Oh, man.
It's just fun. I'm proud of the people I know. Like, that sounds weird. I'm not proud of me for knowing them. I'm proud of them for doing cool shit.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, we have some cool friends. Like...
And we've got to do some cool shit, too.
We really have, like...
It's kind of absurd.
Let's be honest, yeah, thinking back on it now, I'm like...
Like, what? What did I...
Yeah, like, what were we doing?
If you take away all the, like, abuse and the way that, like, your spirit gets broken by witnessing other people being abused in the name of religion, and then the political involvement that came out of it, and the culty aspects of it. But it came with some cool shit.
Yeah.
It's just, now it's like, now it comes with the burden on my shoulders of being like, wait, but... These people are getting... The game's not cute anymore, guys. The political involvement part where people's rights are being restricted in a way that's, like, causing grief, harm, turmoil. If you need to, use familiar words from the thing where your prophetic history says that if you're impatient, you'll cause great turmoil and much harm to many people. Sorry, guys, that got a little weird in the language there. I'm using that... the high context lingo here for a specific cultural reference. Again, I said we're addressing some culty stuff, so that's one of those moments where did Ahriman understand the glint hawk as it set upon the alight kind of moments.
Yeah, that's one of those how do you know our scripture moments.
Yeah, which is a
Yep.
perfect example of what I've been saying about high context language and its uses. The Straight White American Jesus podcast refers to this as prophetic meme, and I think that they are brilliant in doing so.
Yeah, that is a great set of words.
Yeah.
That really is.
Ice rafts in game. The mountains you go into for the shaman's path is...
Huh.
is the Tetons, the west side of the cut. So right up here. So this is the cut. We're not to Banner, we're in the cut when we're in here. And this up here, where the shaman's path is, are the Tetons. The more you know.
Okay, so where's the cut on the map?
This whole Frozen Wilds area.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we're not all the way up to Banner. We're not in the main Banuk settlements. We're just in one of their outer settlements, where the Werricks come, you know, to do shit at times.
Oh, okay.
Because Werricks are not, there's not like a lot of permanent Banuk settlements. They're nomadic. That's part of their like, they like to follow the herds and stuff. You know.
Okay.
That's why you meet why can't Ikari? What is her name?
Uriah?
Ikri. I couldn't remember her name for
Ikri. Okay.
Why could I just not remember her name? But same with the Hunters 3, which we should go do their quest soon. So yeah, Tetons.
Okay.
What else did I find? There's a vantage over in the mountains here somewhere, I want to say. I went through on Google Earth, and I actually found some of the actual this is the spot. I'll send you the link to it sometime. Remind me to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to change the privacy settings on it, I think, so that other people can see it. But I put it up. I put screenshots of it on Twitter. I'm a weirdo. I have a whole thread where I was like, I don't care if I'm right. I'm using this to learn geography better. Jokes on my brain. And so I was it's like the Salton Sea seems important to learn about for actually understanding the actual political and sociological and existing in the American Southwest, and maybe investing climate in the coming years with the green energy transition, but also with the lithium extraction stuff that's going on there. It's going to be, I think, pretty important. That's not investing advice, guys. Don't take that. It's just look into it and learn for yourself and make your own freaking decisions. But it's very interesting to me that California is doing the transitions they're doing with cars, where they're phasing out gas vehicles starting in 2025, and that's also the year when they're doing a pilot right now of testing lithium brine extraction in the Salton Sea, which is a whole thing because it's there's not going to be enough water. So it's green. It's the greenest source of lithium on the planet because, one, it's geothermally powered because it sits on the San Andreas Fault, but two, it's basically an environmental cleanup project because we've basically caused a vat of poison toxic dust there was a canal project being built in Southern California about 150 years ago, whatever. Timeline doesn't matter so much as the fact that we really biffed it. And the canal flooded this valley in Southern California that's flooded in ice ages past because there's only about 10 meters of elevation between it and the Sea of Cortez. And so they were diverting the Colorado for farms in Southern California. The canal floods this valley. And that's how we get the Salton Sea, which was great at the time. Got this giant, beautiful lake. They had resorts there in the 40s and 50s. Beach Boys had a house there. It was this resort town. There was a movie film there about the San Andreas cracking open and a crazy mollusk creature coming out and attacking people in the town. Wait, are there stalkers here again? There better not be. I killed you guys. I think I'm safe. I think it's just environment. And so that actually has gone around as a meme, a still from it, and I like laughed at myself because I was like, I recognize this because I've been looking into the Salton freaking sea. And I figured the rumor, whatever the leak was, I was like, PlayStation's had so many leaks that whatever the thing Joe Raptor was talking about with LA is probably the truth, but realistically, I'm still building a case for why that's wrong. Because of the geography that's already in the game. It's going to be LA. Like, it is going to be LA, but, like, I still stand by my case for, like, why we were already actually pretty much in LA. And I still stand by my case that we probably are actually going to go by the Salton Sea to get to the archipelago. And I think the San Andreas Fault still does end up cracking, and that's why LA drifts south. Okay? Anyways. Because the freaking aqueduct is already in the first game, but also they move some stuff around. They do move some stuff around in this game too, like the Pioneer Museum is not in the right spot. Anyway, Salton Sea is 44% more saline than the ocean. So, like, there's been talks of people, like, wanting to, like, pump... Someone was writing this proposal in Deseret News. It was like the worst op-ed I've ever read in my life, where this person was saying we should build, like, a canal thingy. What, can I not make this jump? I don't get why I can't. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to fast travel because I don't understand what this is doing with this jump. And then put tube filters and then pay people in Mexico to clean off the, like, chicken wire to make sure that sea life doesn't get stuck on it, to fill up the Salton Sea more, since ocean water is less salinated than the Salton Sea water, to keep water in the Salton Sea, and then desalinate that water to provide water for Los Angeles. And it was just this whole, like, because the Lake Powell and Lake Mead are both, like, super, super low right now. Like, it's really, really bad because, like, their hydroelectric power supplies millions of people. And also, like, that water supplies the land. But they said there was 16.4 million acre feet of output of water from the Colorado River in order to get the Hoover Dam built. But they did that intentionally based on a narrow window of data. So, like Ted Farrow, they were covering up data to try and get a project through. I mean, like, a lot of people, but look. And so it's like, it was for a good reason. Like, the Hoover Dam was a good project and it was important, but the dude who was freaking expert on Colorado River stuff and things, whatever, lied. And they got it pushed through, but it was with an agreement with states that states would get output from the river based on 16.4 million acre feet annual flow, if I remember correctly. And so that's how the water's been getting distributed to the 7 states that signed the Colorado River Accord 100 years ago, which is Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Was that 7?
Sounded like 7.
Yeah. So anyways, back to California and their water from the Salton Sea. So because of that, because it's sitting over this geologically active area, there's, like, literally, like, mud pots and mud volcanoes in the Salton Sea area. And so, like, they have geothermal power for that, but they also have, like, a lot of, because it was runoff from the Colorado and the whole length of the Colorado, which is already like a red water river or whatever, like, it's got this dust and silt flowing through it with all these minerals that come out of really interesting places along its flow that all then deposit in the Salton Sea when it gets diverted, right? Down into this valley. And then there's not enough annual rainwater to, like, resupply it. But then there's also all this minerals and stuff being expelled into it because of the volcanic activity. And so the brine undergirding this lake bed is, like, crazy full of lithium. And they have geothermal power plants that make it so they can use the superheated brine to power this cycle wherein they can get power the normal way that you do geothermal power from superheated brine and use that to get the lithium extracted from the water and then repump the water down into the lake. And so it's also like cleaning the water at the same time or something, which I might be misunderstanding the project. But the point is, if this works and they get an efficient process for the lithium extraction, which I think they're pretty confident that it's going to happen, because there's 3 different companies that are trialing different things, and then whichever one does the best gets the contract in 2025, which is when California starts phasing out gasoline vehicles. And I just think it's interesting that they're doing that. They're making it so that they are influencing the car industry in a direction towards people needing lithium at the same time that they're poising themselves to be able to supply 100% of America's lithium and 40% of global lithium. And that just seems smart to me for California to do that for their economy. And I think the California economy is probably... And I'm saying this is just a random person. Don't, like, listen to me, guys. But it's a guess I'm taking out of, like, if that's what they're doing, that's really dang smart. And they're playing a long game. Although not that long of a game, because it's really going to pay off in probably the next 10 years, 20 years. Maybe. I don't know. I'm literally making these numbers up. But I also said that... Anyway, no, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. I've made some good guesses on some stuff before. I just don't actually care to follow through on them. But other people have, and my sister was able to buy a car. Cash. So, you know, well, hey. I did used to work in finance, but it was a very short-lived thing. But I was very good at what I did when I did it. I just hated my life because I am not motivated by money. I hate money, actually. But also...
You and me both.
I hate what it does to people. It's just... you don't need money if you're... Like, you have value.
Yeah.
You have infinite value in the things that you can do. And you don't need money to utilize that for valuable things for yourself as well. But also money is useful as a tool, but also it's necessary for certain things if you don't have other resource. And we live in a weird world. But also, if we just all stop playing the game at the same time, we could play a different game. But also, that's kind of the scary part. Don't hear what I'm not saying there either. I just thought of some ways people could take that in a weird direction that I was not intending. The thought didn't hit me till later, and I'm like, nope, that's not what I'm saying. But I don't want to, like, define it either, because if people haven't thought of it, you don't need to. The end. Okay, there was some grazers that were still alive. They must have gone all the way down here. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. I was going to get the shield weaver, and then I was going to go to bed, because I'm tired. But how are we all feeling about what the story revealed tonight, for those who experienced that for the first time tonight? It's a heavy hitter.
Well, for me, it was like re-experiencing it for the first time, so I greatly enjoyed it. It had a whole new meaning for me.
How so?
It kind of put into perspective that, like, and see, I want to keep part of what I'm gonna say quiet, so I'll try to say it without saying it.
Okay.
It puts into perspective Aloy in her youth and Aloy when she's a bit older. it really gives voice to, like, she genuinely has a hope for a future because she didn't get the past that everybody got, you know. Her childhood was taken from her.
Well, the only hope she has for a life for the first time is to build this for herself, and she's already...
Exactly.
She's a patient person because she's already had to be patient, and she's a hopeful person because she's already done what she has worked... She accomplished the things she'd been working her whole life to do.
Yeah.
At the start of the game, and then right as everything... And I relate so hard to, like, right as you get your hands on something... the rules change and you're a little more is asked of you, and that, if nothing else, sums up my whole damn time in Kansas City. And I've talked with friends and they're like, wait, that wasn't a rule for me. That was a rule for you? That wasn't a rule for me. And it was this stuff where the rules kept changing right as I would get to a point where I was, like, finally allowed to participate. Yeah. And then they would change the rules, and then my friend was just like, what? That was never a rule. And that's just like, it's to the, like, there's 2 IHOPs, like a caste system where there's, like, what certain people get to do, and then, like, the barrier for entry was made higher for me when it wasn't as high for other people. And it was just like, oh, so, like, I wasn't crazy that it felt, like, weirdly personal, that it was so coincidentally different for me.
Yeah.
That the timing of it changing was, like, because that'll make you think you're a goddamn crazy person.
Yep.
When it's like, oh, why did this rule just change as soon as I can actually do this? And I was like,
be a part of this, yeah.
Trying to have goodwill towards the fact that this is a fucking church. No one would do that in a goddamn church.
Right.
But then it's like, no, actually, that's exactly what happened. Because I know other people that the rules were literally different for. Because there was no HR policy to, like, actually give people rights and, like, norm your experience against. So it was just like, okay, they're just they're just hoping that no one's talking to one another to find out that we're all being held to different standards, but we have eyes, like, I'm required to do midnight to 6 days a week with no exception. But this other team doesn't have anything but 4 a.m. sets and doesn't have to come in until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And can set up their life to have, you know, banking hours during banking hours.
Yeah.
And grocery shop, like, and eat things other than breakfast food, because I got really tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you had no life outside of that.
I literally didn't, because I had to work. I didn't. That's a whole other conversation where whether or not people did or didn't get that, where the rules kept changing, where what worked better for me and what worked better for my friend were the opposite things, but what was asked of us was also the opposite things on the same 2 schedules. The same 2 teams' time slots, where it worked better for me not to have a day off, because I'd rather do as much as I could during the night hours so that I had free time during the daylight hours.
Right.
But that meant I wanted to come in an extra set overnight and not have a day off, so to speak, but to be able to come in later the following night. And that just gave me a little more wiggle room on some life stuff. And my friend wanted the opposite, and I was willing to sub for her 1 set a week because I wanted the experience of playing with a different band 1 set a week, because that would be fun and refreshing for me. And they did the opposite, where they wouldn't give her a day off, and they made her come in 7 days a week.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, I need a night off. Like, I have to do laundry and live a life.
I have a life to live, yeah.
And I was literally willing to sub for her so she could have that. I was, like, excited that I would have an extra set a week. Like, there was nothing where anyone had to do any more work. But they wouldn't. But she was on 2 teams and only had a stipend for one of them. But they were like, if you leave this other team, you're gonna lose the stipend.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me too. I was on 3 teams, and
but there was only she had to do both of them. But it, like, or if she left them, she had to do the one, but not the other. Even though it was like but then they're like, but you have to stay on this other team, so this person, yeah, it was, yeah. And she's already told that part of those parts of their story publicly, so it's like, whatever. I'm not like, and I was part of it because I was like, it's the other half of my story where they said the opposite stuff to me, but then they wanted to change it back after they said there was no way they could do it, and they made me they changed it, so I had to change around my whole schedule and availability at my job, but then they wanted to change it back 6 months later. I'm like, I can't just do that at my workplace outside of here. Like, you can't just ask that of people and constantly change it. I'm trying to set a life up here, but I have to have another job to have health care. Because you guys don't provide that. Like, I turned 26, I couldn't stay on my parents' health plan anymore, so I got an outside job so I could have health insurance because I was having health problems. Like, so what, you guys want me to not have health care? I have an outside job because working at a hospital for part-time, and I'm working at a hospital serving people food. If anything, I'm doing like church work.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid for it, but so I'm also getting paid to play bass and pray. So whatever happened to y'all's 24/7 works of justice to accompany 24/7 prayer? But whatever, don't get me started on that bullshit. A lot of branding, a little substance. They're like a fig tree that has its leaves open. Anyway, I'm whining. I was going to go get the shield weaver, and that's why I went over to that one campfire, and then I didn't grab the shield weaver, so let's go back there.
Yeah, that... It just, to be perfectly honest, and I don't know if I've said this on the stream before, but I so wish I would have joined our friends team over everything else.
I would have loved to have the opportunity, but that's an entire other conversation about why and how I never got asked to sub by someone. Anyway, that's actually how I first met our friends. They found me and asked me to...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they asked you.
They found... Well, I first met them when I was living there in, like, summer of '09.
Okay.
So we had a mutual other friend who lived next door to me in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. We both spent summer of 2009 in Kansas City.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they lived literally...
Did you both go there together or no?
Nope, it was separate. It was totally separate. They just had connections to people there. And they lived behind me in Waco. And we went to the same church, and they were like the discipler, so to speak, of my roommate.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd be at my house once a week. And like whenever I'm like playing drums in the garage, they probably heard it.
Right.
So I kept my drum set in the garage, and that's what I would do to exercise. I didn't know I had postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, but now it makes sense that I like to exercise sitting down. It's not laziness. I literally have a nerve condition that affects my heart. So
there you go.
Yep.
Yep.
But oh, where was I going? Where's the freaking hole? There it is, just north of me. Okay. Not making the joke I want to make. Not making the joke I want to make.
Michael is asking, is it somebody from Baylor?
Yeah.
And then he put the letter C.
Nope. Okay. Nope, I don't know who you're even talking... Oh, I know who you're talking about, but no, not that person. But anyways, yeah, then after a set one day, they found me behind the peasant door.
The peasant door.
Right outside the peasant door. Right outside the peasant door.
Oh gosh, the frickin' peasant
And they said they wanted to have me play with them sometime, and then I was never contacted by the person who could have made that happen. Because that person didn't like talking to me.
No.
So that's the
I don't
whole
think that
story.
person likes being alive. I mean, much less talking to people, but...
So that's a conversation for off stream.
I mean, it is, but that's all I can think of. having known that person.
There might be some stuff that's not my business in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Or we might be thinking of different people. But, you know, that might be going down
we
the road.
could be. Now, that is
yeah.
true. That is true. We could be thinking of different people.
But, all that to say, it was just a really strange situation and sad in several ways. And also human in a way that's almost precious. Humans, man. But it also weirdly mirrors a situation in the next game and in this game. 12, 15, 18, 21, midnight.
Oh, here's a question about this. Are the times ever different for this sequence? No. Okay. Because again, I've only played it once through, so...
These puzzles are all set.
Just always wondered.
Ultra weave progress. I think we were thinking of different people. But
it's a girl, yes?
Let's not do that right here. That goes down a route I don't want to do on this stream.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's going into some speculation about the inner life of other people, and that is something I detest doing. Because I don't
agree,
like it
unless
when
that
that's done
person
to me.
is present. I agree.
No, even when that person is present, it is not my job to assess your insides. And I don't want that done to me. We can look at behaviors, but not assess my insides.
I guess I'm so used to it happening to me often that it's just like, oh, that's normal.
Nope, I don't like that. I don't like it when it's done to me. I don't even like it when it's done well-intentioned. Like, you don't see inside me. I gotta represent my insides because I don't, like, it's just people don't even know their own insides half the time, much less running around telling other people what's going on in them.
Very true.
And literally, the whole crux of how I was mistreated started with people telling me what they were seeing was blind spots inside of me.
To which my reply would be, well, what about the thing in your own eye?
Exactly.
I mean, if we want to go there, let's go there for real.
That's what's like, let's not look at other people's insides. We can look at actions. And it's not that you, like, theorizing is, like, obviously, but don't commit to a theory that you're making of someone else's. And don't use that to control them or whatever. Like,
exactly. The control aspect is the worst part of it.
And don't insist your interpretation of someone else's insides is more correct than their own.
Right. Even if they tell you their own interpretation, they could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's real. I had to
because
learn that
it
about
takes
myself.
gaining perspective and distance from situations sometimes to really realize what you thought about it. Because a lot of times, especially in communities like that, you're asked to ignore your own thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yeah. Sorry for getting snappy. That's just a thing where I'm like hard line.
Oh no, you're 100% right. I feel the exact same
I don't
way.
want this stream to go down that route.
Yeah. And I was speaking of a specific conversation I had with this person, so that was my fault.
Yeah, that still is like probably a private conversation.
It was very much so a private conversation. You are correct.
So I don't want to go into putting that on broadcast.
Yeah.
That's I don't want someone doing that to me, and I don't want to do that to someone else. There is some stuff that's a little too identifiable as well, because obviously there's some stuff I've talked about, but it's like...
Yeah, I mean, and there's some personal stuff about people in here that is inevitably coming out due to the nature of what this is.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
They would probably not like to come out, you know.
Yeah,
so.
They could have treated people a little different, though. Yeah. You take on leadership, you take on a public platform position, you get public accountability. Right?
I mean, that's how it should be. If we're real honest, that's exactly how it should be.
But I'm trying to keep it like, now? And I so like if you were like, I'm trying to keep it to like things I experienced, not to conjecture.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, that was my fault. That was a personal conversation I had with this person, so.
We got the shield weaver. Surgery required. Man, my scars are like not healed yet from mine. It's just crazy to think that.
Still?
Well, I mean, it's only been like a month.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wondered.
I mean, they're like closed, don't get me wrong, but they're still closing. Like they're still healing. Yeah, well, it's just like, it's my abdominal wall.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like when I had a catheter in my stomach to do dialysis. Like, it took a good 3 months for that hole that the catheter was in to close once they took it out.
I'm still nervous of like moving too quick or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, plus there were like stitches that have to dissolve inside and stuff like that. I like the little glow on this outfit once you get the shield weaver.
Yeah. Praise God for shield weaver.
That beautiful sunset we're coming out to. Or sunrise, who knows? Sunrise, sunset. I saw that on Broadway.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. It was Rosie O'Donnell and Harvey Keitel, whatever his name is. It was very interesting. It was in November of 2005. There you go. That was when I went to New York to sing in Carnegie Hall with my school choir.
Now that's cool.
The school I was at the time. It was a pretty cool experience, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I got there before my grandpa. Boom. But he got to perform Rudder. So angry. I did Vivaldi's Gloria with the New England Symphony Orchestra. And then we also did, so we got to perform as part of two different ensembles. One of them was like the collective ensemble, and then one of them was like our director directing us. But then also within that, I was in the select ensemble that got to sing the special parts. So I was in this like smaller group of singers. And I touched the Carnegie Hall Steinway, which there's more than one.
Nice.
And there was a little gold paint chip that I took that had like fallen off the wall.
You still have it?
I don't know. I think I've washed that coat since then. But and the acoustics were so delightful in there, and I was like very macabre about the whole thing, and was like on the balcony of the upper balcony, like journaling about like I could die here and it would be fine. This is a great way to go, having this as my last experience on this mortal plane. You know.
Yeah, of course.
Moody
Amusing.
17-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, gosh. Were we all that dark in high school chat?
But it was a Christian school, so how dare I, right?
Right. Oh, gosh.
That was the trip. I got in trouble for wearing my Metallica shirt, which is like, whatever, we were a Christian school, but like, there was just a lot of stuff about like how to brand yourself Christian that I didn't know, okay? Because I didn't go to that kind of church. And like, we had alcohol at our get-togethers, okay? So it's like, the fact that staff's not allowed to drink alcohol in public still didn't make sense to me, because it's like, why?
Yeah, you didn't get the cardigan, baseball cap, snapback, white Vans starter kit. So it's okay. Like, you just didn't know. I didn't either.
So, yeah, exactly. Because, like, at school, we wore uniforms at school. So we had to wear the, like, polo shirt with, like, the pleated skirts, except for I always wore the Dickies instead. And that was part of what got me accused of some stuff down the line. Anyway, because everyone else wore the skirts, and I was like, I don't want to. Like, I'd rather have pockets for my pencils. I like to put my pencils in my pocket.
My friend Megan, who was a lesbian, she had to wear the skirt because they wouldn't allow her to wear pants, and she would like roll her skirt up as high as it would possibly go.
Oh no, but then you get a detention though.
Well, no, they just let her wear
No, there was a dude in the courtyard that would measure the distance from your knee to your hem. Yeah. Yeah. He had a ruler and everything, so that would get you a detention.
Wasn't that crazy?
That would get you a detention,
They wanted to
man.
be, but that's wow. No,
Our school kicked out Jenna Jameson's kindergarten son once they realized who she was.
What?
Like it was national news. So that leads, yeah, well, he got accepted, but then they realized who she was, and they're like, oh, right before school started, they're like, you're gonna have to find somewhere else. It was national news.
Wow. I mean, like, I want to ask why, but I know why.
Well, because of what she does, because of what his parents do.
Son. He
I know,
do it.
I know, freaking kindergartner. Don't get me started, but that's exactly the point. So, anyways, we're on this trip to New York. I love the people who made this call. Like, I respect them. They're amazing people. I understand why they made the call, but also it's funny to me, okay? Because I wore a Metallica Ride the Lightning shirt to the flight, to the airport, because I'm like, I finally get to wear casual clothes. I'm going to express my personality on this trip to New York freaking City. It's a music shirt. It's a music trip. I wore a band shirt.
Yeah.
Like, Metallica performed with Michael Kamen. We're going to Carnegie Hall. Like, the whole thing. Anyway. So, I get asked to turn it inside out. Now, granted, the cover of Ride the Lightning is a man on the electric chair getting electrocuted actively. So, I get it, but also, like, Dave Mustaine's kids went to the school. And so I was just like, the dude who got kicked out of Metallica for partying too hard. Kids go to this school, but I can't wear a freaking Metallica shirt on this trip? Like, they go here.
Definitely double standard. And not just because they wouldn't let you wear the shirt, but also because, like, he is who he is. And they let his son come to school.
Well, no, but he's converted. He went there because he's buddies with Alice Cooper.
So
and Alice Cooper's kid. Yeah, Alice Cooper's kid graduated from my high school before my sister went there. Yeah, there's a.
Give you more of a.
It's well because they both became Christians. It's all about. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
yeah, that's a governmental thing. That won't change. That's fine. It's just sad.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Whatever. Oh, I can make... Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go to bed soon. I can't believe I'm out of rich meat. And that's what's doing it. It's not the fatty meat this time. It's amazing to me. Anyway, let's grab all this stuff. Give me my blazes. I'm gonna go sell stuff, and then I'm gonna go to bed because I'm getting sleepy. I played D&D today, and it went really long. Like, it went till right before this, and now I'm tired. I've been waking up at 7 a.m. on my own without an alarm, and that's a really big deal. It turns out your gallbladder can mess, like, with your fatigue really bad. More likely to happen in women. But yeah, that's what my surgeon told me. Well, I got mine out. But I don't know if there's a way to get it checked. I didn't know. It wasn't like a thing I anticipated because I got mine out on an emergency surgery. I diagnosed myself and I knew it was coming out before I ever called the ambulance. And I called the ambulance because I couldn't stand up because I was in so much pain. It was a really bad day, you guys. It was like a month ago. But first I went through several months of building anticipation of extreme pain and bouts of pain that was like full body. And I talked with 2 different people that have each had at least 3 children. One of them is like given birth to twins. And so like knows labor pain. Okay, and said that her gallbladder hurt worse when she would have gallbladder attacks. So like my pain, one of them said as bad, the other said worse than labor for your gallbladder flaring up. Ooh. I had stuff I could take out of a box. That's great. So, the more you know. Since I got it out, before the last 5 years, I've like had trouble like waking up, like to alarms, to anything. I wake up when my body lets me, if I fall asleep in the first place. And because of that, my sleep schedule's all messed up. It's really hard to fall asleep because it's hard to have a consistent sleep schedule when you don't wake up consistently. Whole like just cascade of like problematic symptoms all building together into hell on earth of my body sucking ass. And because it's like you need to be able to wake up on command. Like, how are you supposed to hold down a freaking job if you can't wake up reliably? And so that's part of why I haven't been working. Because I'm like, literally, like, how am I supposed to... I literally have missed doctor's appointments from this. Of, like, just not being able to wake up to an alarm. Sucks. What can you do, though? And so, now I wake up every morning at 7 a.m. and I wake up to alarms again since getting my gallbladder out. And that's only been for, like, the past, like, week or 2. But it's like... I've tried going back to bed after waking up to the sunrise, and I can't, which is incredible to me. Oh, why did I just get rid of that? Oh well, whatever, it's gone.
You've tried waking up, or you've tried going back to sleep after waking up, and you can't.
It doesn't. I'm waking up before 8 a.m. on my own every morning, even if I've gone to bed at like 4 or 5 a.m. I'm still waking up with energy. At 7:30, by 7:30 or 8 a.m. And that's huge after like I felt like I slept like 5 years of my life away because I just couldn't get myself to wake up. And then I couldn't fall asleep, and so I was just having all this insomnia and everything that they're trying to treat with all these sleeping medications. And it's like, no, it was my fucking gallbladder. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah.
So,
now,
the more you know.
How did you figure that out? I wanted to ask you that.
By getting my gallbladder out and it going away, and now I wake up. That's literally...
So you didn't do any research beforehand?
Like, no, I mean, I diagnosed my gallbladder once I started having the attacks, and there was a few other specific things that you can do to determine if it's a gallbladder. So all I'm saying is by the time I was in the hospital, I already knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that I was going there to get my gallbladder out. And then they did the imaging, and I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think that I was getting admitted and getting surgery because I don't want to risk COVID. Like, yeah, I'm in pain, but if it's just gallbladder attacks, there's not a lot they can do about it until it gets to the point where it's got to come out. So, like, why am I going to go and get that evaluated if it's just, like, adjust your diet? Like, there was not a lot else that it could have been. By the time it came out, there was a lot of things they would do for differential diagnosis that I was like already looking into. So yes, I did do like the research and look it up and stuff, but it was also just like I knew enough about physiology to just make a good guess. It's just like how I can diagnose stuff on my car because I know how a human body works, and vice versa, because there are similar systems in some of the loops. Like you can take principles from one onto the other. Look, you ever do a test and then you use the questions to answer the other questions? Because, like, maybe 1 in 7 answers is in another question on the test somewhere.
Yeah, I've
the
done
more
that
you
before.
know. The more you know.
Uh-huh.
I used to
Yeah,
teach
like-
people how to take the SAT. I got paid to do that. You have to score above a certain whatever on the SAT in order to get a job at the place to do that. And I did that.
Jeez, I can only imagine how high a score that must be.
I mean, whatever. It's just stupid test. I got part of the reason I knew how to do that is because I had a teacher who taught us how to take tests. Didn't teach us the information on tests, but taught us how to think like a test maker. And he was like, this is what you have to look for in how the tests are structured and designed. And would actually teach us the critical thinking behind what the questions meant and were looking for. But he did that for standardized tests in general. This is the same person who we spent like 2 weeks talking about Gatsby's Green Light. It's the reason that I have my really long post replying to the one that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, the one where there's like all these people repeating the same 3 comments. The one I keep sending you the screenshots from, and I'm like, oh, that's really weird that, like, well, you think I'm weird because I had a comment talking about Horizon Forbidden West on a Horizon Forbidden West video, but you're writing fan fiction about a stranger's personal sex life on the internet. Like,
so which is weirder?
which one of us is really being a weirdo right now?
Right.
Like,
yeah. At least one of us is staying on point.
which I'm not offended by people making comments like that. Like, don't do that in this stream. I don't want to have to manage that. I want to keep this at a certain level of respect for humans in general. But
yeah,
like,
I think we got a pretty good group.
I'm not, like, someone making a comment like that on the internet doesn't, like, make me clutch my pearls, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised or there's nothing someone's going to say to me that's going to trip me up in that way. Like, you can't surprise me. You can't say something, and that's not a challenge, guys, but it's just a promise.
Yeah.
And don't try to challenge the promise.
Less shocking than people like to think.
I have been on the internet since the mid-90s. You're not gonna... I was there when these rings were forged.
Yeah.
Like,
guys, we saw it when it was a baby.
Don't, like, I lived
we invented
through
some of that stuff.
I'm not gonna tell you, but one of them involves lemons, the other involves a tub.
Oh, lemon. Oh.
Another involves waffles. Like, I've lived through some internet. You're not gonna shock me. Anyways, guys, I'm sleepy. Because I wake up at 7 a.m. even when I stay up till 4 a.m. And now I gotta catch up on that sleep debt. Which isn't real, but the point is, if I'm sleepy, I should ride that wave straight to dreamland. And I'm gonna do that, because I've got my window cracked because I'm in Arizona, and someone's got their fireplace going.
Oh.
And it's just very, it's cozy smelling.
Okay.
And it gets chilly. Like I said, it gets down to the 40s and 50s at night here. But we've actually got storms rolling in, kind of like off the slopes from the, like, rollover from what's been going on in California and stuff. I don't know. That's a lie. I'm making up that I know where it came from. But that's my assumption. But the point is, we're going to have storms soon. And so I'm hoping that having my window cracked, I sleep with extra blankets so that my face is, like, chilled, but then the rest of me, like, is, like, extra toasty. Like, instead of, like, one big comforter, I have, like, you know how, like, in Gladiator that you just watched, at the beginning of the movie, his bed is just, instead of like being a blanket, it's like 900 furs.
Yep.
So ever since seeing that movie, I was already doing that, where I used a bunch of throw blankets over, and then I slept on top of a comforter instead of under the comforter, because I don't like the feeling of like, comforters aren't heavy.
Yeah, no.
They like fit over you instead of on you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So I like throws because you can get hugged by them. And exactly what Michael says, like cool air plus stormy plus big blankets equals cozy cubed.
I agree.
And so, like, a couple weeks ago, I woke up and I didn't know there was a storm coming in. And I woke up to the smell of rain. And just this chilly air coming in through the cracked window. But it's mostly warm, but then with just the chill, like, on the tip of your nose.
Mm-hmm.
But you're actually toasty, except for the chill on the tip of your nose. But because your core is warm, you don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a delightful feeling, and it's a very refreshing way to... I don't like weighted blankets. I get tangled in them.
Yeah.
Weighted blankets get too hot. I like... With the throws, I can make air gaps in them. I have to have circulating air.
Yeah, so I have a weighted blanket, and it was right after I got home from my coma that it, like, helped me feel secure. It was weird. I felt like...
I like them when I'm, like, lounging, but not for sleeping. Because then I wake up sore. Because I toss and turn.
Well, yeah,
and it's because of the position I sleep in.
Uh-huh.
I have to change position, like, every 2 hours. It doesn't matter how good of sleep I'm getting. I have to change position because I'm just over flexible, and I end up overstretching and stuff if I don't. So doing that with a weighted blanket makes me so sore because I'm